Beginning. The Queen Who Never Smiled. My name is Lorian Hale, a reconnaissance pilot for the Outer Frontier Corps. I had spent 10 years scouting uncharted systems, dodging pirate traps, outrunning ion storms, and logging more light years than most people live to see. But none of that prepared me for the day I met Queen Alindra of Vaeloria. Vaeloria was a world made of silver forests and crystalline oceans, beautiful, mysterious, and intensely private. The Vaelorians rarely allowed outsiders onto their planet, and even more rarely did they request help. So when the Corps dispatched me to escort a research envoy to their capital, I expected nothing more than a routine diplomatic flight. I couldn't have been more wrong. From the moment she stepped onto my landing deck, I understood why entire star systems spoke her name in reverence. The Queen wasn't just regal, she was luminous. Her skin shimmered with faint bioluminescent markings, her eyes glowed like twilight suns, and her voice carried a resonance that made you feel simultaneously humbled and honored. But there was something else. Something hidden behind those shining eyes. A sorrow. A weight. And I felt it long before I knew the truth. She said little during the journey, only that Vaeloria was facing an unidentified anomaly threatening their planetary core. She spoke with diplomacy, precision, and fear she tried desperately to mask. 2 days later, we landed at the Crystal Citadel, her palace. Towers spiraled like living vines of light, and the air hummed with an ancient energy I'd never encountered. I was meant to leave after delivering the envoy, but that night everything changed. The moment everything stopped. A scream echoed through the halls. Not a human scream, something deeper, vibrating through the metalwork of the palace. My instincts kicked in. I grabbed my blaster, sprinted toward the sound, and burst into one of the crystalline observatories. That's where I found her. Queen Alindra stood alone on the balcony, surrounded by floating shards of light, each one pulsing dangerously, like unstable plasma. Her breathing was ragged. Her hands trembled. The air around her warped. Reality bent. It felt like stepping into a gravitational storm. "My queen," I began. Before I could take another step, she spun toward me, eyes wide with terror. Then she rushed forward and grabbed my hand. Her grip was cold, trembling, desperate. "Don't move," she whispered. Her voice cracked in a way I had never imagined possible from a ruler so composed. She squeezed my hand tighter, anchoring me in place. "What's happening?" I murmured. She swallowed hard. You were not meant to see this." Around us, the shards of light pulsed faster. The room vibrated. And the Queen, the most powerful being on Vaeloria, was trembling like someone about to collapse. "Alindra," I said quietly, using her name for the first time, "you're in danger. Tell me what's wrong." Her eyes glistened. "It's not me who is in danger," she whispered. "It's everyone else." She took a shaky breath. "I am losing control." I didn't understand. Not fully, but the fear in her voice was enough. "Then hold on to me," I said. "Tell me what to do." She stared at me as if she couldn't believe the words. Then she let out a trembling exhale and said, "Just don't move." The room rippled. Time itself warped. And the truth began unfolding. The secret of the Queen. She led me through the palace, still holding my hand, down hidden corridors I never could have found alone. The deeper we went, the more unstable the energy around us became. Floors flickered like holograms. Walls shifted. My vision blurred at the edges. At last, we reached a sealed chamber beneath the palace, a vast crystalline vault humming with violent energy. This was no throne room. This was a containment facility. She stood before a pulsing sphere of light suspended above a platform. The energy inside it twisted, shimmering like a captured sun on the verge of exploding. Her voice was barely audible. This is the Heartwell. It sustains our world, and it is dying. I took a step toward it, but she pulled me back sharply. Lorien, don't. Her hand trembled in mine again. My people believe the Heartwell is stable. They believe I perform routine communion rituals to strengthen it. But the truth is, her voice broke. The truth is, I am the reason it's failing. I stared at her. You're telling me you're hurting your own planet? Not willingly, she whispered. Our royal bloodline is bonded to the Heartwell. For centuries, it drew energy from the monarch. But now something has changed. Her gaze darkened. It is drawing too much. Consuming. Feeding. It is using me as a conduit. And it's killing you? I asked softly. Her silence was answer enough. But why bring me here? I asked. Why trust me with this? I'm just a pilot. No, she said, meeting my eyes. You are the first offworlder who felt what I feel. I blinked. What? When the energy pulse flared earlier, you reacted. Your physiology absorbed part of the instability instead of collapsing from it. That wasn't intentional, I said. It nearly ripped me apart. And yet, she breathed, you survived. She took my hand again, gently this time. Lorien, I believe you might be able to stabilize the Heartwell with me. Me? I stared at her like she'd lost her mind. I'm not a mystic. I'm not a scientist. I don't even understand how your energy systems work. You don't need to, she whispered. You just need to trust me. The room pulsed violently. The Heartwell flickered, casting shadows like lightning. If we don't do this now, she said, Vaeloria will die. Her voice softened to a vulnerable tremor. And I will die with it. I looked at her, truly looked, and something inside me shifted. She wasn't a queen in that moment. She was a woman carrying the weight of a world on her shoulders, terrified she wouldn't survive the night. So I took a breath, stepped closer, and squeezed her hand in return. Elindra, I said, tell me what to do. Her eyes filled with relief, and something far deeper, the ritual of two hearts. She guided me to the center platform. Our hands remained linked, our bodies only inches apart. She instructed me to place my free hand on her back, just below the glowing sigils that lined her spine. They pulsed softly at my touch. Whatever happens, she whispered, don't let go. The Heartwell roared. Light swallowed the chamber. Energy surged through our linked hands like a river of molten ice. I gasped, knees nearly buckling, but she steadied me. Her forehead pressed against mine as the world dissolved into white. I could feel her pain, her exhaustion, her fear. It wasn't telepathy, more like we'd become one pulse, one nervous system, sharing the same burning storm. She cried out. I held her tighter. The Heartwell resisted us. Its energy lashed out, trying to push us apart, but I anchored her with every ounce of strength I had. Then her voice entered my mind, soft, cracked, desperate. Don't move, please. I didn't. Even as light tore across my vision, even as the chamber shook violently, even as my own bones felt like they might shatter. I held her, and slowly, agonizingly, the energy around us began to synchronize. Her heartbeat, mine, the Heartwell, 3 rhythms forming a single, steady pulse. The light diminished. The platform steadied. The roaring softened to a hum. And then, silence. Elindra collapsed against me, breathing hard. I caught her before she fell. The Heartwell shone brightly once more, calm, stable, and no longer draining her life away. She opened her eyes. It worked, she whispered. By the stars, it worked. Her fingers curled against my chest, trembling. You saved me. No, I murmured, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. We saved each other. She looked up at me, and for the first time since I met her, she smiled. A real smile.
Soft.
Radiant. Heartbreaking. Ending the moment we chose each other. After the ritual, Vaeloria flourished again. Energy storms calmed. The planet's bioluminescent forests brightened, and the people rejoiced, unaware of how close they had come to annihilation. But Alindra's burden did not disappear. She still needed to commune with the Heartwell, regularly now, but safely, without risk of losing herself. And every time she asked me to be there with her, our bond, forged in light and chaos, deepened with each connection. What started as necessity grew into friendship, friendship into trust, and trust into something neither of us dared to name. One evening, after the last communion cycle, she led me back to the balcony where we first touched hands. The sky above shimmered with drifting constellations. The wind carried the scent of the silver forests. She stood beside me, not as a queen, but as Alindra. I never thanked you properly, she whispered. You don't have to, but I want to. She took my hand again, the same way she had the night everything began. But this time, her touch wasn't trembling with fear. It was steady.
Warm.
Intentional. Lorien, she said softly, when I told you not to move, it wasn't just because of the danger. I turned to face her. It was because in that moment, she continued, I had never needed anyone the way I needed you. My breath caught. And now? I asked. She stepped closer, her voice a whisper against my chest.
Now.
I need you still. Her forehead rested against mine, just as it had during the ritual. Only now the energy between us wasn't cosmic. It was human, raw, tender, undeniable. Tell me to move, she breathed, and I will. Tell me to stay, and I promise I will never leave your side again. I lifted her chin gently. Stay, I whispered. She exhaled, trembling, not with fear, but with emotion. Then she kissed me, slowly,
deeply,
gratefully. The kind of kiss that said more than any vow. The kind of kiss that changes the course of a life. When we finally parted, she whispered, this is our secret moment. No, I said, taking her hand again. This is the first of many. She leaned against me as the Vaelorian night shimmered around us, queen of a world and woman of a moment we shared. And in that moment, I realized something simple, something powerful. She had saved me too. Not with power, not with energy, but with trust. With a single whispered plea, don't move. And I never would. Not from her, not from us, not from the destiny we had created together.